Understanding the Permit Process. Brought to you by the Safety Codes Council.
Hello, my name is Justin Pockar. I was a Safety Codes Officer with the City of Calgary for over 15 years. Today, I've been invited by the Safety Codes Council of Alberta to talk about permits and why they matter.
Why permits matter.
In Alberta, getting a permit isn't just a good idea, it's the law. Permits are required under Alberta's Safety Codes Act, which sets the regulations for how buildings and building systems like electrical, plumbing, and gas must be designed, built, operated, and maintained. The Act applies to everything from brand new homes to renovations, garages, decks, and commercial spaces. Authorities having jurisdiction, or AHJs as they are called, are responsible for enforcing building codes, fire codes, and other regulations within a specific jurisdiction. The AHJ ensures that buildings, structures, and components within their jurisdiction comply with safety standards and meet the minimum requirements set by the applicable codes and regulations. Meeting these minimum standards isn't going above and beyond. It's simply the baseline for building safely. The point of permits is public safety. Permits help make sure that buildings are safe to live, work, and play in. They also help prevent costly mistakes and serious hazards like electrical fires, gas leaks, or structural failures. Work done without permits might not meet building code, and that can lead to real problems. In some cases, unpermitted work must be removed or redone before you can sell, insure, or even live in the space. Working without a permit is a violation of the Safety Codes Act and can result in fines, stop work orders, or delays that cost you time and money. When you follow the permit process, you're showing that you're building the right way, safely, legally, and responsibly. It is a signal to buyers, inspectors, insurers, and your community that the work meets professional standards. Permits protect everyone: property owners, tradespeople, builders, neighbors, and the public. That's why it's so important to understand what permits you need before you start your project.
Types of permits.
There's no such thing as just a permit. In Alberta, there are different kinds of permits, and each one serves a unique purpose. Let's break them down. First is the development permit. This one makes sure your project fits within your local zoning rules, like where a building can go on a property, how tall it can be, and what it can be used for. It's about the bigger picture: land use, parking, and how your project impacts the community. This permit is issued by your municipality's planning department. You may need a development permit for building a new home, demolition of a structure, adding a garage or secondary suite, or changing how a building is used. Effectively, a development permit asks what you are building. Once your development permit is approved, the next step is your building permit. This is where the focus shifts on how the structure is to be built. A building permit helps ensure that the work follows the current National Building Code, Alberta Edition, is structurally sound, energy efficient, safe in a fire, and suitable for Alberta's climate. Finally, you'll need trade permits for your work that involves plumbing, private sewage disposal, electrical, gas, or on occasion, HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. These are usually handled by licensed tradespeople. Each trade must apply for and receive their own permit before starting work. In most cases, this is the path you move through: development permit, building permit, and trades permits. There are instances where only an additional permit is needed, like adding an EV charging station only. To see which permits you need, contact your local AHJ.
How the process works.
Now that you know what permits are, let's talk about how the process works. Some municipalities provide checklists to help guide you through the permit application process. These checklists outline the documents required for a complete application and indicate the baseline information needed for the municipality to begin a full review. Please search online for your local municipality and your specific permit type to ensure you're submitting all necessary information. Doing so will help expedite the review process, allowing you to obtain your building permit more quickly. Most municipalities in Alberta offer online permitting, and many prefer it. It's usually faster, easier to track, and lets you upload digital plans and documents. Some places still accept paper applications, so check what your local AHJ requires.
Application and intake.
After you submit your application and pay the fee, an AHJ does a first review. They'll check to make sure your application is complete and that you've submitted all the required documents, like drawings, site plans, or code compliance forms. If anything's missing, they'll let you know. If it's complete, it moves forward.
Development review.
If you need a development permit, it will go through a review by municipality planning staff. Some of the items they will check include things like property zoning, setbacks, that's how far from the property line your building is, building height, parking, and landscaping. If everything checks out, you'll receive your development permit approval.
Building review.
Next, your project moves into the building permit review phase. This is where safety codes officers look at things like foundation and framing, fire safety systems, structural components, energy efficiency, and health and accessibility. Once approved, your building permit is issued and construction can begin.
Trade permits.
Finally, your trades can apply for plumbing, gas, or electrical permits. These are typically issued quickly once the building permit is active.
Inspections.
Permits don't stop once construction starts. That's where inspections come in. Inspections are required at key stages of your project to make sure the work meets code and safety standards before it is covered up or occupied. For example, a plumbing rough-in needs to be inspected before walls are enclosed. The same goes for electrical wiring, gas lines, framing, insulation, and other building components. It is the responsibility of whomever applied for a permit or their representative to call in to schedule the inspections. You can book inspections through your local municipality, usually online. You or your trades can request them as the project hits key milestones. When your work passes, the project moves forward. If it doesn't, the inspector will explain what needs to be corrected, and once corrected, it will need to be re-inspected to verify compliance.
Check with your municipality.
It's important to remember that each AHJ in Alberta is different. Some have more detailed bylaws, some allow minor variances, some still take paper forms, and others are fully digital. That's why it's essential to contact your local authority having jurisdiction before you start a project. They'll tell you exactly what permits you need, what documents to include, and how to apply. Don't assume the process is the same everywhere, even within Alberta. You can also go to safetycodes.ab.ca for more information on where to get a permit.
Summary.
Permits may seem like paperwork, but they're about more than that. They're about constructing it right and building safely, legally, and responsibly. Following the permit process helps protect your investment, avoid costly mistakes, and keep everyone safe. So whether you're a builder, a tradesperson, or a homeowner, take the time to understand what's required. Visit your municipality's website or call their permit office to get started.